All right, how is everyone doing out there today? And welcome to my channel. Uh, on this channel, we uh, focus on educational issues and we check out great theories, concepts, discoveries, and magnum opuses, tour de forces, earth-shattering discoveries that are pretty obscure, things that you probably haven't heard of because they've been suppressed and you have to do a lot of digging to get to them. And this is a feature for the truthers out there and the diggers out there called Your Blind Side. This is trying to identify some problem areas, some holes or gaps or Achilles heels, blind spots or shadows that exist in the movement and that will ultimately cause the downfall and failure of the movement. In spite of the victories over the globalists, there still needs to be a program moving forward. And without doing a lot more digging, um, that program is going to fail because it's going to be beset with uh, a lot of hidden psyops that have not been discovered yet. Things that you buy into still that you should know better, but you've been focused on other things. You've been focused on the info war, and you've chopped up every aspect of 20th and 21st century psyops, conspiracies, false flags, and the like. But for some reason, you don't apply that same logic to things happening earlier, particularly with your religions and even with your culture and heritage. Um, you know, the idea of all this, uh, I don't believe is to glorify. I don't think we're going to be uh, doing a lot of glorifying. What we're doing is deconstructing. And, you know, um, I talked about it last week a little bit um, when there were some discussions about Columbus and Columbus Day. Um, you know, this is kind of a little bit of a tug of war of glorification. You know, yeah. Well, you want to have a situation where you're telling the truth. I mean, that really just has to be the lodestone there for everything is the truth. And you know, I don't know how you contort the truth to glorify Columbus. Um, he might have been brave and heroic in certain ways, but certainly not in other ways. And it just seems like a lot of right wingers um, kind of want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to uh, talk about truth, but at the same time glorify their heritage and their existence. And I just there, look, we've had a rough go here on this planet. There's there have been psychological operations going on since day one, and there isn't a glorified past. There isn't uh, uh, this past where everybody was good and people that we can look back to that, oh, this is uh, you know what we can emulate. This is what we can use as inspiration. Now, may have been individuals who, uh, embodied some of those traits, and that's fine. But to look at it, gotta look at it realistically. And I mean, I could I could be wrong, but you know, I don't read Spanish, but I have read some of Columbus's diary and some of the diaries of Las Casas, the uh, the priest that was there, and it wasn't pretty, uh, And so to kind of glorify that just as uh, a revisionist history, oh well, we're getting back at the leftists who, uh, you know, call Columbus, uh, a baby killer or whatever, and um, want to get rid of his statue. I don't want to get rid of his statue, but there's a difference between that and like wanting to glorify, and it's like uh, sometimes I wonder about uh, the right wingers that you're not really any different than the left wingers. You're willing to kind of ignore the truth uh, if it's inconvenient for you, and you really are just, I mean, obviously not talking about all of you, but you know, it's like a parallel mental illness. I think we can all identify the mental illnesses over there on the left. They deny reality in terms of, um, you know, gender fluidity and, you know, open borders. Um, but it seems like the right, oh, and just being, utterly emotional, not being able to uh, separate their emotions from reality. But the right wingers do the same thing, but they just do it on behalf of patriotism, nationalism, and Christianity instead. Um, but if you get into those topics, um, they start getting all emotional, and they start, I mean, not obviously not all of them, but a lot of them start getting all emotional, start getting up in their feelings, start, you know, even is sobbing and you know, um, kind of getting away from reality again. So this is um this is serious business here. We have got to clean this up. Um, there are a bunch of psyops out there that uh, patriots, especially Christians, are remaining blissfully unaware of. Um, I'm not I'm not challenging any type of belief in God, but this New Testament, it's a psyop, and it was written by the Romans, and somebody is going to have to listen to me about this. I feel like I'm the only person talking about this on, two people on the right. And um, I've watched all your podcasts. I've been, lurking on this movement for the since day one, and you guys are not circumspect. You guys dig like crazy when it is in your favor, but you're not doing digging when it goes against your core beliefs. And that will be the undoing of this movement. So I would just suggest that you get on the stick, get a copy of Josephus's War of the Jews, and read it alongside of your book of Luke, and tell me whether it was a psyop or not. Okay, that's about it for today. Like, share, subscribe, comment, contribute, and remember to watch your blind side.